I'd like to call to order the Clarkston Independence Library Board of Trustees meeting for November 12th at 6:10 p.m. Let's rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Jane Gaffney. Here. Michelle Van Anderson. Dan Green.
Here.
Mary Hoover absent. Allison Van Kiesling. Here. Marilyn Pomeroy.
Here.
Almost absent. Julie Meredith here. Okay.
I'll accept a motion for approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the agenda as presented. Any comments, questions? If not, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those who disagree say nay. The motion is approved. Hello, public.
So nice to see you again.
Thank you.
Two things I wanted to mention. The holiday book sale is Saturday, December 1st, starting at 10 a.m. We can use both volunteers and people to come and buy our books. Secondly, the Friends have once again agreed to loan their tables to the Clarkston Rotary for their, I think it's called Shoes for Kids, and that's going to be on Saturday, December 8th.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The call to the public is ended. The consent agenda consists of 7 items tonight. I'll accept a motion.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda as presented. No one wishes to remove any item. If not, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Library statistics are in front of us.
So in the statistics, I did a little bit of looking at the statistics this month, so I have something to actually say. I noticed that our circulation from October of last year is down 5%, but our downloads are up 26%, so we are seeing a rise in usage of our downloads still. I noticed that our computer use is down 16%, but our wireless is up 13%. So
People are just
people are
using them.
shifting from one format to the other. And I also noticed our children's and teen programs are up 19%. Participation in that is up from last year, which
Oh, wow,
is
that's
lovely.
good.
So yeah, all good stuff. Very, very good stuff.
Excellent. Okay. Library director's report.
All kinds of exciting things going on. Under general information, during the election on November 6th, the library was the location for Independence Township's Precinct 4. There were 957 voters at this precinct between 7 a.m. and 8 p.m. The election workers reported that the day went smoothly at the library and that they felt welcomed and supported by library staff. So it's nice to be able to report that. Item number 2, the library will be adding some new staff in the coming months. We've hired an additional part-time librarian to help cover the information desk and to provide some additional programming assistance while one of our children's librarians is out on maternity leave. We'll be hiring a part-time administrative assistant. We'll also be replacing our part-time IT assistant and our full-time community relations volunteer coordinator who have accepted positions at another library. The selection process for these various positions will take place between now and the end of the year as the holidays allow. Item number 3, the lead custodian and I have been working with Jake Mills from Allied Building Services to finalize a more robust facilities maintenance contract for 2019. This will include a regular list of tasks that will be monitored on a monthly, semi-annual, and annual basis, in addition to our regular as-needed work list. This should streamline our building maintenance and move us into a preventative instead of reactive mindset when it comes to the care of the building.
Excellent.
That's good.
Which is, yeah, we've been doing that for a really long time. It's time to get ahead of it. The lead custodian will oversee the task list and ensure everything is being completed as well as the minor repairs that need to occur. The library's attorney has reviewed the contract, so the library board should see it for review and approval at the December meeting. In terms of project updates, on Friday, October 19th, I was part of a presentation at the Michigan Library Association annual conference that focused on community engagement and specifically our use of the community, Harwood Community Conversation Training to help our community move forward. The presentation went very well and the attendees asked lots of great questions about how to do similar projects in their own communities. Next item, the head of circulation and I are working with the space planner at Library Design Associates to create a circulation office and workspace behind the self-check stations. This will move our head of circulation's work desk out of the staff area and will allow her to complete administrative tasks in an area that also provides her sight line to the service desk she oversees. Workspace in our staff room is becoming very tight, so the solution will also free up needed space for our technical services team. The board will see this project begin to unfold in 2019. Last project update, last week our concrete contractor completed the foundation and sidewalk for the outbuilding on the west side of the library's property. Now that the concrete is in place, we will work with the teacher of the school's construction trades class to determine a timeline for the building of the shed. And then in terms of collaborations, last month I reported that the Clarkston Community School District had asked us if we would be willing to use our Harwood training to conduct community conversations regarding the local schools to be used as part of the district's strategic planning process. So far, we have conducted one conversation with a group of 29 students. It went very well, and we are looking forward to providing this useful input to the school's strategic planning committee. We also have open public conversations scheduled on Tuesday, November 13th at 9:30 at the school's boardroom. Thursday, November 15th at 2 p.m. At Independence Township Senior Center. Wednesday, December 12th at 7 p.m. Also at the school's boardroom, and we have a second conversation scheduled with students at the end of November and anticipate scheduling a third session with students in early December. So total, we're thinking 6.
Okay.
Next update, on October's 25th and 26th, the library's teen librarian and I participated as support facilitators for the Clarkston Community Schools Real Talk program. This is a 2-day event that brings small groups of students together to have discussions about the issues that are affecting them on a day-to-day basis, from stress and anxiety to drugs and family dynamics. Community members are paired with school staff facilitators to allow us to show our support for our young people while also getting a better picture of the issues in our community. This provides us the chance to think about these issues and what our organizations can do to help support our students. It was a very powerful and informative day that ended with hope. The teen librarian and I are considering a variety of ways the library can collaborate with the schools to ensure students can be connected with important resources they need to better deal with life's issues. And then finally, for the last few years, the library has been part of Impact Weekend project, in which hundreds of volunteers come together the last weekend of April and the first weekend in November to serve our community. As part of this project, on November 4th, the library hosted a project in which families could make a card and write a personal note to one of our community's first responders. We had over 40 volunteers attend. We created a goodie basket and a personalized message for each of Independence Township firefighters and the Independence Township substation's Oakland County Sheriff's officers, even Diego, their canine officer. That was fun too. It was a very rewarding day, and I was honored to be the one to deliver these gifts from our community to our first responders. I would like to thank the Impact Weekend Committee for allowing us to host this great project, and also Renee Poole and Peggy North, who are the office managers at the fire station and the substation, for helping us choreograph the details to make it personal and successful.
Very good. So we've had 2 collaborations with the schools.
Yes, yep.
Okay. Any other comments, questions?
No, those all sound like
Busy
really-
stuff.
Yeah, busy stuff, but really good things.
Good stuff, yep. It's keeping us involved and embedded in the community. We're trying to do a little bit of this and a little bit of that, all kinds of stuff.
All right. Let us move on to regular business. The Library Board Self-Evaluation Report and the 2019 goals. And the timing of this annual performance review for the board takes place from September through December. This includes a process of self-review by the board. The timeline is as follows. The Library Board self-review forms were turned in to the board president on Monday, September 24th. The self-review subcommittee compiled the results, which are in the packet and online. And the library board then scheduled a special meeting to review and discuss the results, but we had to reschedule that meeting because several of us were not available at that time. So the meeting was last Monday, and we spent about an hour discussing the results and our goals for 2019. The board is presenting these goals for the coming year tonight, based on our review. And so if you look at the next items in the packet, we have there 3 areas in which we rated ourselves in how well we were performing as a board. So number one, we were looking at how well we had done our job. Were we operating with a strategic plan? Did we have measurable goals and priorities? Were our meeting agenda items reflected? Did we follow our agenda? Did we have job descriptions for our board members and committees? We have subcommittees. And we wanted to know how well we gave direction to the director for implementing board policies. We also were looking at whether each member of the board had an opportunity to be heard during our meetings. Did we discuss issues in a professional and civil manner, even when there were different points of view? And do we share responsibility for tasks that need to be done? And we felt as a board, we felt good about this area. We need to work on a strategic plan. So one of our goals will be to work on that. We completed the last strategic plan that was in place at the time of our election. As the community's election that certified that we actually were going to continue to be a library. So those goals have been met. So now it's time to construct new ones. We also wanted to see how well the board had conducted itself. Were we as board members aware of what is expected of us? We are. We hold a review meeting every January to remind us of the Open Meetings Act, what our responsibilities are as board members. Our meetings are well planned, we think, and we're always able to get through business in a timely manner. So we felt good about that. Board members come to the meetings prepared. We have packets that we read before the board meetings, and then we have packets here in front of us during the board meetings. We receive written reports in advance of our meeting. All board members participate in important board discussions, and we do a good job of encouraging and dealing with different points of view and support the decisions that we make. And we're a very consensus-oriented board, so our goal is to see if we can come to consensus. And where's our third one? Oh, okay. We assess the board composition. We're always looking for board members who will be able to bring skill sets that are useful to the board. So we're very happy to have people with accounting or financial background, with experience in the schools, with community members, with we have several former librarians, different types of librarians currently serving on the board, and some of the business community. So we're looking for a broad area, broad spectrum, and we're always interested in recruiting new board members as our board turns over. We do turn over every 3 years, and then at that time, we'll see who we can recommend for the next 3 years. So we're always looking at that, and we felt that we're doing a pretty good job at that too. In terms of our board relation with the library director, we have several items there, and we want to make sure there's a clear understanding where the board's role ends and the library director's begins. To make it very short and sweet, the board sets policy, the director runs the library with the aid of the staff. So the board does not run the library, and that is not our job. There is a good two-way communication between the board and the library director. We trust the judgment of the library director, and we provide direction to the director by reviewing and approving policies and acting as a sounding board for future projects in terms of priority and other interests that we come up with from time to time. The board has discussed and communicated the kinds of information and the level of detail that it requires from the library director. We've developed a formal criteria and a process for evaluating the library director. This has been a goal for the last year or so. The staff has developed a evaluation form and critique. There's one for the director and now one for the board. So that every year, everyone involved in the operation of the library can review our performance, whether we're meeting our goals, setting new goals, and just keeping in touch with what we're trying to do here in terms of serving the community. The board, as a committee, has formally evaluated the library director within the past 12 months. We evaluate the director primarily on accomplishment of the organization's strategic goals, priorities, and adherence to policy. The board provides feedback and shows its appreciation to the library director on a regular basis, and we ensure that the library director is able to take advantage of professional development opportunities. So in our first few years of operating as a board, generally we're feeling good. We feel that our meetings are effective and everyone has a chance to be heard. So there's always room for improvement, and therefore we have set goals for the coming year, which are on our next page. Aha. And find those. So our summary of our questionnaire results, the ratings are here, and in each case we felt we did an excellent, not perfect, but a good job, and we're working on it. As a result of our review of all of these questions, we came up with a set of goals for 2019. The first one is to develop and implement a new strategic plan. We have worked with the Harwood Institute in trying to assess the community's needs, which helps the library define what we can do to assist the community in meeting their goals. We also want to review and update employee policies. We at one time were part of the township, so we need to tweak these policies now that we're an independent unit. We want to review and update library board job descriptions. We would like to develop and document a succession plan for the library director. So one of the board's responsibilities is to be instrumental in hiring a new director when necessary. And so this year, the board and the director are going to work together on how such a plan would work so that we can be ready. So whenever the board finds that that is a time that we should implement such a plan, we'll have the process already written out, ready to go. And we would like to document strategies for recruiting future library board members. Now, everybody can add to.
No, I think that pretty much covers everything we discussed the other day.
I thought the exercise was good. I thought the filling out the questionnaire was a good exercise, and then getting together and discussing it as a group. That was very, very helpful.
It helped us, I found it helped us narrow what needs to be done.
Right.
It's a
Right,
good
because-
review.
Right, instead of just, dealing with one
Mhm.
thing at a time, to develop kind of a plan for what we would like to do, rather than kind of following along with that, kind of being a little more, behaving a little more like leaders and trying to develop a plan for moving forward, so.
And one thing the board has felt was important was that board members individually sit on various subcommittees relating to library staffing, policies, hiring, projects, various things. So 1 or 2 board members, occasionally 3, will sit on a subcommittee to become informed about what is going on in the library. So there's always someone on the library board who has participated in one of these subcommittee groups, trying to be always certain it is never more than 3.
Right.
Because at that point, we would have to have an open meeting. So generally speaking, we're feeling hopeful. We think that we're on the right track, and we would like to continue this through 2019. Any comments from the director?
No, I thought it was a really good process. I thought it was a nice open conversation. When we got to the part where you were sort of reviewing the results, I thought you did a nice deep dive into the details of it, and I think it really led you to some goals that may not have necessarily gotten on the list if you hadn't gone through that process. So, and they're definitely all worthwhile things.
Okay.
That was great.
So we were pleased with the process. We plan to continue that as a good review. Okay, item number 2.
I think we need.
We need to accept the report, excuse me.
I move to approve the library board self-evaluation report and 2019 goals as presented.
I'll second that.
Got a little ahead of myself there. All right. We've had a lot of comment. Are there any final comments anyone would like to make? If not, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. I want to thank everyone on the board for their participation. Now, snow plowing.
Okay. Each year, the library requests bids for snow plowing for the upcoming winter season. The RFP was posted on the library's website, and using the Waterford, Clarkston, and Orion Chamber of Commerce member lists, we also sent the RFP to local service providers. Discussion with other library directors had given us the impression that most libraries were paying for snow plowing on a seasonal basis. So we allowed the contractors to bid the pricing in the manner that they most commonly use. Because salt prices have become unpredictable and have been rising, I believe contractors are now beginning to shift to per push pricing, which is the model that we've been using all along. 3 submissions were received, with one contractor providing both a per push and per season price. Also included in the grid is the per push price structure from 2017-2018 and the total amount that snow plowing costs the library for that season from November through April. So if you look at your little, I did put the RFP in. If you look at your grid, and it looks like this, the bold at the top is the 2017-18 season. And it is per push broken down in an a la carte method. So per push for parking lot, per push for per salt, per application for salt, per push for sidewalks, per application for salt, and then also the safety pads, and that's a per push and per salt. And those are the prices that we were using in 2017-2018. And then the total cost for the entire season. And then we got 3 bids from Ted's Landscaping, Michigan Outdoor Service, and Gail Graves. I've given you the total, the per push totals for an entire run of all of the a la carte pieces of it. In the height of the season, that's usually what happens, is we get a bill for the whole thing, so the parking lot, the sidewalks, the safety pads. So Michigan Outdoor Service is the low bid for this year. That is not the person that we've been using. So I did, in the packet that he sent, he had given some references. So I did call, he had a local reference. He had Mike over at the Union Joints and Union Ad Works here in town. And I do know Mike, I don't know him real well, but I've met him a few times, so I gave him a call, Mike Wright. And I asked him, and he had nothing but glowing things to say. So there is potentially some advantage to, definitely not just financial advantage to going with our low bid, but also that this person is geographically a little closer to our building and has one of his major contracts right here in town. So.
Okay. Did everyone get a chance to look at the 3 bids? That was a lot of small print.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
well.
That's all right, that's not.
And did we have his insurance documents too? So he
Yep,
has
the
all-
only one that didn't provide the insurance documents up front was Chad's.
Okay. And he's pricey anyways.
Yeah,
And
Seems to be-
he's a lot more, yeah, he's
Yeah.
a lot more, so.
So I think that if he has the proper insurance, which it certainly appears that he does, that we should go with the low bid. Unless there's a compelling reason not to, I'm generally in favor of the low bid. And if his reference checked out and.
I knew since in the past, we've had a bid that was just, our regular guy was just slightly higher, like $5. And this is a larger bid
Right.
difference this time, which is why I thought the board might be interested in going with the low bid, and that's why I called the reference.
Yeah, if you're
Yeah.
talking about, you know,
Yep.
like just that minimal of a difference, and you have somebody that you know, that you've been working with, and you know that's gonna be all right, that's one thing, but this is
This is significant enough that it will add up over the course of
over
the season.
a number of snowstorms, yes, that could easily add up.
And of course, we never know from year to year. Last year was quite heavy and
Yeah.
frequent.
Yep.
Right, yeah, you can't guess, it's, yeah.
Yeah, our snow plowing expenses have ranged anywhere from $11,000 to $27,000 in the last 4 years.
Yeah, and it's
Sure.
just,
So,
you know,
yeah.
so all you can do is try to make sure that your base price is
Yeah.
competitive and go from there. And
And the voter requirements were clear, the vendor requirements.
Yep.
and they all came and met with you and walked around, or met with somebody and walked around and looked at it?
They're supposed to do that if they get awarded the contract.
Okay, all right.
So yes, they.
So,
would
but
need to
they
do that.
know that they have
Yeah.
that.
Mhm. Yep.
All right, well then, I personally, I would move that we accept the low bid and award the contract to Michigan Outdoor Service.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we accept the low bid for the snow plowing contract for the 2018-2019 season. Any other questions or comments? The map is quite clear, the vendor requirements are quite clear.
And their review was glowing. You said you talked to
I
someone.
did,
Yeah.
I did.
That's also part of the
He had
equation.
nothing but very positive things to say, that he's right on top of things, and they never have to worry about calling him, that he's always right there and very responsive, so.
Sounds great.
Okay, in that case, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that is the last item on the agenda for tonight. So I will accept a motion for adjournment.
So move.
Second.
And seconded? It's been moved and seconded that we adjourn. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. We are adjourned at 6:32. Thank you all.
Thank you.